Alrighty, so, I was asked to do like a, this is loud, I was asked to do like a basic, cosplay makeup thing for male cosplay because that's a lot of what I do since I only cosplay one female as of right now. This is so distracting. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make my face how I would if I was actually getting into cosplay right now. If later this was liked, then maybe I'll make ones that are specific for different characters that I do, but for right now this is just like basic making your face look more masculine if that's what you want to do. So it can be for cosplay or whatever you want, just, yeah. So, I need to turn this down because I will be distracted and will sing along instead of doing my makeup if I leave it too loud. Yeah. So I just moisturized my face, so like basic face lotion, whatever you want to use for that, you can use. Do that first because you don't want to have like completely dry skin. And then you don't have to do this step, but I like to do it because it makes your makeup go on easier. I have, and this is just cheap too, you can even see I got makeup all over the bottle. It's face primer from e.l.f. because I like primer. I mostly like to put it just under my eyes because that skin is sensitive and it helps the makeup go on easier, so there. And then sometimes around the edges of my lips and in like the crevices of my nose, I guess. Yeah. Next step is I like to take concealer. You can use liquid concealer if that's what you prefer for your face, or if you don't know, I like to use solid concealer to go under my eyes and around the top. See how you blend it in? I'm using, just so you know, I'm using all makeup that's a little bit too dark for my super pale skin because most of the guys that I cosplay are a little bit less pale than I am. So I like to use makeup that's a little bit darker because I think it looks more like it should. So yeah, I do that. And if you're doing like an older character or a more serious character, you might want to not do the underneath part of your eyes, because if it's like a more serious character, you can, or like a character you would assume would look tired all the time or something, you might leave that part out. But you can also put it on and then do it with like purpley or grayish makeup, make the under eye bags later too. But since this is just basic, I'm just doing like a full face of makeup and then the contouring and whatnot that I would do if I was getting into cosplay. It's usually at this point, after I've concealed my eyes, and if you have any like spots on your face that you want to conceal more, do that too. It's usually at like this point that I like to grab a lip balm or a chapstick or something, because your lips get chapped if you don't do that, and then you just go on to the lip concealing steps. So I'm going to say 3 different ways that you can do lip concealing real quick. You can get like a lipstick like this that is the same color as your skin, and this is good in the way that it doesn't chap your lips as quickly as the other 2 ways to do it do. But if you use this kind, it comes off a lot, so you're gonna have to frequently reapply. But it's also good if you plan to make out in your cosplay because it tastes a lot less gross than concealer or foundation does. Just reference. The other way you could do it is if you don't want the lips like completely gone, like you just don't mind, then when you're doing your full foundation, just put a little on top, because that will conceal it lightly. But I like to, for just any, like your average male cosplay makeup, I like to use the same concealer like that we did on the under eyes, and go like this. I like to start towards the outside because if you just smear it all over the inside, sometimes it gets clumpy on like dry skin and stuff, so. And you blend it. I don't have a bottom lip. Sorry if I keep looking here. My mirror's here and my camera's there. So, see how I did that? And it kind of looks weird because it's really white up here. So I like to use my ring finger for a lot of blending that I do. Because that's like a thing makeup people do. I don't know makeup that well. I'm just showing you guys. I was asked. See, rub that. No more lips. Once again, because I'm super pale and all these freckles are here, and a lot of the characters that I do don't have freckles, at least here. Like some of them I have headcanons, but we're not going to get into that right now. We want to conceal my face really good so that it looks good in photos at cons and stuff, and also so that I look a little bit darker. So what I'm using for my foundation for this is like a mousse, but it's really just a cream foundation. This one is Dream Smooth Mousse by Maybelline. I like this for cosplay makeup because it's like a really strong coverage or something like that. I don't know makeup words like that people use to describe makeup. I'm not really, don't do tutorials a lot, in case you can't tell, because I'm really awkward. But if you don't really like creams because they feel too heavy or thick, or like if you're gonna have to wear it for like a lot of hours and you don't want that much makeup on your face, you can use thinner stuff like this, which is CoverGirl, and it's just their regular liquid foundation, and it's a little bit lighter than like the creamy stuff, but I like to be a cake face. It's my way to go. So you can compare and contrast for what your use is and decide for yourself. So yes, take this. Busy as a bee. Sorry about that. Into the bar. Liana. He blows it into the bar. I also just use my hands because it's cream. For liquid, sometimes I'll use a brush, but since this is cream, I'm just using my hands. And honestly, you don't need makeup brushes. Like, makeup gurus are like, oh, use makeup brushes because you can get better application and stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, but they cost money, and if you're trying to like live cheap, these are nature's makeup brushes, and they are very efficient. So, boogie wonky bugle boy, company B. So, I don't know if you can see that well what I'm doing over here because I'm doing it in the mirror. But like, look at the difference between, I don't know if you can really tell. See, this cheek is kind of rosy. This one's completely concealed. I'm just gonna pat a little extra on top there. Busy as bee. And then, especially if you're using, like me, something that's a little bit darker than your skin, make sure you blend it onto your neck. You want to do that anyway, but it's really important if you're using something that's a little darker, because if you don't, then it's going to look like your face is orange and there'll be a line, can't speak English, there'll be a line between your face and your neck, and you'll look like you're wearing a mask, and that's a little scary unless that's what you're going for, but I'm guessing you're not, since that's not what this tutorial is for. Anyway, and then if you're not wearing a wig, make sure you get it in your hairline, but since this is for male cosplay, you probably are wearing a wig, so you don't have to worry too much about making sure it's really in your hairline, because they're not going to see your hairline, because it will be in a wig, under a wig, yeah. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this and just go over my eyebrows, because I like to redraw my eyebrows when I'm doing male cosplay, because if they're bigger and thicker, then I don't want to have my natural shape distract me from what shape I want to go for, or if I keep them about the same shape and size, because I have kind of sort of masculine eyebrows if I fill them in right. Then I like to, if I need to do lighter eyebrows, then you want to have them slightly concealed, so that's just a thing that I'm doing. They probably look just really weirdly light with my hair, but yeah. So then that's all of the thick liquidiness that we're gonna do. So we're gonna use Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. You can see this. This is a brand new one, so I'm not opening this one yet. But we are going to use the same exact thing, just my older thing, so I use up what I have there. I really like this, so any powder really that you want to use works, but this is just what I like to use because it's really full coverage. It's like magic, and it's so light so it doesn't clog your pores. So I like to take a smaller brush when I'm first doing this so I can go around like the spots that I think need the most setting so that they don't get oily. It's important to set wherever you know your face gets oily, like where you sweat the most on your face. And I know I do a lot in like the creases on my nose. So I'm powdering that. And my eyebrows, kind of my T-zone, you know, like where most people are oily. But no, I'm not feeling the song. There we go. Andrew's Sisters, that's a... Right in the air. While you're going around your mouth, because I know I sweat a lot in my chin and mouth area, also go over your lips just a little bit on the outer edge. You don't want to go like inside and get powder in your mouth, but a little. Just go over your lips a little with that. That will help make the makeup you put on them last. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. And around my eyes, because I think it looks so different when you put the powder on it. It's like magically erases all under eye bags. Erasing the bags around your eyes makes you look forever well rested. And then if you plan on doing lighter eyebrows, which I'm gonna do for this tutorial because why not? You can do a little bit of the setting powder over that. Blow your top. So I'm gonna take a big fluffy foundation brush, which I'm just gonna say right now, you don't have to use the different brushes that I'm gonna use for this tutorial. I just have these because I wear makeup every day, like a full face makeup, because I'm obsessed with makeup actually. But you can just get like sponges, a single brush, a single foundation thing, like these are the kind that come with things a lot, just little squishy things. Those are fine, you can just do that and then pat around your face. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I just like makeup. And I even, it's cheap, so I don't have that much stuff either. But so I use the fluffy brush and I just go over every part of my face with a little bit of it, so it's like all the same color and all set so my face can't rub off on people's furniture and onto whatever costume I plan on putting on, because you don't want to get makeup on white button-up shirts because that is a hard thing to get out. So just reference, be careful with that. Don't get your face onto clothing. Alright, so this is the concealer and foundation part is pretty much done. We're gonna use a little bit of setting powder, which I have e.l.f. right here, and I think it's high definition powder is what it says, but it's really just any powder that it probably will look white when you're taking it out of there, but it goes on clear. It's just like a setting powder to just again make sure like you're not sweating your makeup off or that your makeup can't rub off on things as easy, and so that you don't look shiny and oily, because you don't want to look all greasy and gross going to cons or just around your house taking pictures with friends, taking selfies and cosplay, you know. Don't want to look like an oily, gross mess. So that's why I like to do this. It's not necessary if you use enough of this powder, but I recommend it, especially if you're going to be at a con for a long period of time. It's good. Makes you not look nasty at the end of the day. I managed to go 7 hours with this without looking sweaty and gross, and then I needed it after that. But yeah, it was efficient because it made for less touch-up stops, you know? So you're just gonna kind of go over your entire face with the powder. Or at least that's what I do. You can decide for yourself if you want to go over your whole face or if you just want to go over your T-zone with it. But I like it because I'm a sweaty pig, so I sweat everywhere. Yeah. Alright, so... Whoa. So I'm going to do the eyebrows real quick for like lighter eyebrows. So right now they look just sort of like they just are chilling under a layer of makeup. So what I'm gonna do is take like a light eyeshadow. I would tell you like what brand and stuff, but I don't have it. It's just like a cheap eyeshadow that I have, but it's like a blondish color. I don't know if you can see that on the brush there. But so that's what I'm going to do over the concealed eyebrows, because it will make them look filled in and not covered in makeup a little bit, but they'll still keep a little bit lighter than they are when they're my natural color. They're still going to be too dark, just so you know, if you have like black eyebrows like I do, they're probably going to be darker than you want them to be, because there's so many channels show you how you can completely conceal your eyebrow and then redraw it, but it looks really cakey when you do that, so I'm trying to show you like a more natural way to make your eyebrow look not makeup-y, but lighter than natural for yourself, you know? So if you have light eyebrows, you're already ahead of the game. You can do whatever you want with your eyebrows. So I'm just gonna kind of do it in the mirror. I hope you can see it, but you just follow the natural shape of your eyebrow if you want to keep your same shape. If not, then get an eyebrow pencil in whatever color you want, like lighter or darker. I don't need that, I don't think, because I like the shape of my eyebrows for most of the characters that have lighter eyebrows that I do. But some of the darker eyebrow ones, I change the shape, but I don't have to conceal everything and make it hidden the way that you do when you have lighter eyebrow golds, you know? Yeah, so just filling in the shape of my brow with this powder here. So, see? It's filled in, but still lighter than it was when we started. But yeah, so you can you just follow it with a brush. I recommend like a angled brush like this, but if you don't have one, once again, you can just get the pencil and you can just use an eyebrow pencil to do it, or you can even use a Q-tip in whatever color you want your eyebrow to be, and then just carefully rub it in over your eyebrow hairs, and it will work wonders, like magic. We're gonna do specifically male cosplay stuff now. Let me get out. I have this tiny brush that I like to use, and I have one other tiny brush I like to use. This tiny brush. I have these two little brushes. One's angled, and one is just small and fluffy. Once again, Q-tips if you want, but I recommend at least one brush for blending, because we're going to do nose and lip and stuff contouring, so it's a good idea to have. First things first, we're going to do like cheeks here. So what I like to do is I like to take first this tiny brush, the little one that I showed you, the angled one, and take a color brown. You can buy eyeshadows to use for this, or you can buy really, really dark foundations, whatever you want. I'm using eyeshadows because I just bought like 2 shades darker foundation that's going to be like used as my a bronzer, because I don't use bronzer because I'm super white, so it looks really weird if I use bronzer on a daily basis. But I have this for cosplay. But first thing, I like to go like gross duck face thing, and you find where like the indent is in your face and you trace it with the dark color. So see, that's like a line right now, which is not what you want, but what you do, I do at least, blend it out with a brush till it looks like it's barely there anymore. Like you can probably barely even tell it's there. But you can still see the line enough, so when you go to take your big fluffy brush again, or this, whatever you can get your hands on for this, you take it, get it nice and covered with all of the darker color, and you trace the line you just made. See? So then you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. So we got the brown. I'm lucky too because my sideburns line up perfectly with where my cheekbones are, so I get to sort of just follow that to make sure that my cheeks are properly contoured. Yes. Taking this again. And then after you do that, you want to take some of the darker and sort of just go along the outside edge of your face, because it will help make your face look more angular, which is what you want since you're cosplaying a guy. Ooh, this song is so broken. Anyway, do the same thing on this side. Just go along the outside edge of your face. And then, so I'm going to take that same little brush that I used, and I'm going to use it with the same brown. And because I have what I've been told is a Barbie nose, I like to make it look a little bit more angular and dramatic. So, ooh, there's an ad. So I'm going to use a small mirror. Hold on, I have one right here. Just a little mirror. Or if you are doing this for yourself, you can just lean closer to your big mirror. But since I'm doing it on camera, I gotta make do with what I can, you know? Yeah. So with the brown down there, you find where your eyebrow ends at the crook of your eye, and you trace from there along your nose down to where your nostril starts. And it creates like a dark line, and it's gonna look too dark, just so you know. And then you go right at the crook and you trace the inside of your nostril. So then you do the same thing on the other side. Starting right with your eyebrow, down along the side of your nose. And then right in the crevice there. Okay, so this is gonna look too dark and it's gonna look weird and angular. But don't worry, we're gonna blend it out. Take the same brush, and remember you can do this with a Q-tip. So like if you don't do makeup a lot, you don't have to worry. We're gonna go right here because you can see. I don't know if you can see on the side that I didn't just do it. There's like sort of part of your nose you can see where it meets, you know. So you just kind of go over that a little bit, darken it, and trace down along this part of your nostril, the inner part towards there. And just go along, because making everything darker is what you want. Finally, you're just gonna go right in there a little bit. Yep. Then we're gonna take the other brush or a new Q-tip, whatever you want to do, and you're gonna sort of rub it so that it looks less intense. Because we know that that looked a little too dramatic and not natural looking. So when you do this, it just makes it look like it's where the shadow falls when light hits your face. It just makes it look more natural. So that's why we do this and blend it out. Some of the contouring that I'm doing, it's just because I like it for my face. So I'm going to take a little brown on the fluffy brush, and I like to just make like a natural face, and then go into the crease of the side of your lip, and just sort of go like that. So I think that it. And then I like to go just under the way that your lip sticks out, like where your actual lip is. Just go right underneath it with a little bit of brown. Because it makes it look like you have more shadow there. Then another thing I like to do, take a little brown and go like squinty eyes, and you find where the bottom lid of your eyeball is, and you sort of do that because it makes it look a little bit less like perfectly girlish concealed. You do that. So then I do that on both sides to keep your face nice and even, because you don't want to look weird. An American, I'm free. Alright. The next part that we're going to do is you take like a color similar to what I used for the eyebrows, because this part is irrelevant to whether or not the eyebrows are light, but you're using it for your face. So you like to take like that sort of like a blondish, brownish, beige color. I'm using it on this brush because this one, it's a little bit flatter. So then what you want to do is like smile. So you find where the edges of your cheeks are, and you want to fill in from your nose, because it sort of shades it as if that's where facial hair might grow, and it helps you look a little bit more like a guy. So you want to do that on both sides. And you don't want to use brown, because unless you're trying to make a beard, but if you're trying to make a beard, there's whole other steps involved, but it just sort of like contours your face to look more manly. You do it again and you follow down the crease and sort of do it just a little bit under on your chin. So then once you get a little on your chin and on your lips, then you should be good on that part. And I like to take the same color, sort of blend in under your eye because it makes it look a little shadowed. And then another thing you can do is add brown, that same brown that we used earlier, contouring the nose, to draw a very light triangle on your forehead above each eyebrow, like right triangles above each eyebrow, and sort of fill them in a little bit. So this is going to look weird and dark. And then you take what you used on the hollows of your cheek earlier, and you put it right back on your fluffy brush, or whatever you're using, and sort of soften up the big triangles you drew. This makes your forehead look kind of prominent. I don't know how exactly, but it does. And so, and you blend it out. There you go. Just about, hold on. Sorry, I just looked in the mirror. You just want to make sure that you can't see like strictly drawn lines anymore unless you're looking for wrinkles, because you don't want to look wrinkly unless you're trying to be wrinkly. Then after that, highlighting. So I'm going to take this brush, but you can use whatever brush. And I'm just using this plain white. It's vanilla, and it's by Maybelline, and it's just vanilla. It's just a white eyeshadow. So you can use actual highlighter if you want, but I'm using white eyeshadow because I don't fully hold on. I don't fully highlight my face every day for school or for life because I don't have the effort in the mornings because I'm a lazy person. But I do like it for cosplay because I think most of the reason you want your cosplay makeup to look good is for photos or for like being in panels or just so you look like the character you're intending to look like. So I take the white and I first fill in nicely right along the deepest part of the corner of your eye because it helps bring, like, I don't know, it makes your eyes look light and brighter sometimes in photos, so it's cool. I like that. And then I like to use a little right in between my eyebrows and then down the bridge of my nose. And you can kind of blend it a little in the crease part here if you want. That's what I like to do. And then trace like the arch above your eyebrow and blend it because you don't want to look like you have like a white line, but just a lousy flesh wound, Dad. Sorry. But so you blend that out. And then you take it and you find the little dip right in the middle of your lips. And you do it just over the top of each. And see, that looks way too white. So then we're gonna take it and wipe off any extra whites on there and blend it. Where did I put it? Trigger. Okay, there it is. Sorry. I'm using a little bit of a bigger brush, and I'm gonna go over the nose part, and then I'm gonna go like this, just a little on the forehead, especially in the middle, focusing on the middle part of your forehead. Go down there. And then you're gonna take it and you're gonna go just under your lower eyelid on top of your cheek. Trigger happy. And then if you're unhappy with any of the contouring, you can darken anything up. I like to usually at this point is when I darken up the cheekbone because that part looks really good in photographs when you have nice high but intense cheekbones. And this is just a thing that I like to do because I have like kind of a round jaw, like not necessarily this part of it, but like under here more. So I like to go and find it and trace this with a really dark brown so it looks almost like I'm going to create a beard, but then you're going to blend it down. And I'm going to blend it out with a big fluffy brush in a minute, but so I'm going to take the fluffy brush and the 2 shades dark foundation. So there's that. I like to take a little bit of a color, and this is just a personal preference because I have a really round chin. I like to go like this and tighten like all the muscles and go like that, like make a little cleft kind of thing, and then blend it out. Because it sort of gives your chin a manlier appearance. And that's what I do for just to look like a guy, and my eyebrows would be darker if I was wearing with just my hair. If you want to do, like usually anime cosplay, I like to, so I have white eyeliner. White eyeliner is magic. So I'm gonna have to do part of this with a tiny mirror again, because I cannot do this entirely in the camera. I'm gonna try to do it as close as I can to the camera so that you can try to see it. But basically what you're gonna do is take whatever white eyeliner you have. Sometimes you can only find bigger ones like this that's like a white eyeshadow, but you can still use that. I'm actually gonna use not this, because this is more like, what is the word I'm looking for? It's more like glittery, shimmery, and I think that is not as good for it as just a matte white eyeliner. But so I can't tell you exactly how to do this, because I know, especially if you're newer to makeup at all, filling in your waterline, which is the part of your eyelid just above your lower lashes, you're on your bottom lid, it's uncomfortable. But my recommendation is like a finger here, like as if you're like about to put contacts in, which by the way, if you're wearing cosplay contacts, they should already have been in before you even started this. And I like to start from the outer corner, and you just trace above your lashes along your waterline. Be careful not to stab yourself in the eye. And repeat the same process with your other waterline until they're both nice and white. Once you have your waterline sufficiently white, take a small brush or a Q-tip, whatever you're using, and the same white anything, it can be eyeshadow or highlighter that you used earlier, get it on the thin brush or Q-tip, and you're gonna make sure it's nice and loaded on there. And you're just gonna dab it on, oopsies, you're just gonna dab it right across the white eyeliner that you filled in, because it will first of all get rid of any makeup-y clumps, if there were any, when you move the brush or Q-tip across it, and it will second of all set it, and sometimes even make it look a little bit more white. So that makes your eyes look bigger, so that's why you usually do that for like anime cosplay, because you want your eyes to look big and anime-y. So then there's one last thing that I'm going to do, and that's I'm going to take another thin angled brush, and I'm going to take not a brown, but like a beigey skin color brown, and I'm going to go just lightly under where I just put the white, below the lashes. See, you can barely even tell I did anything on the camera, especially. But it just makes it look so that there's not like a jagged white line in person. And it just makes it look a little less unnatural. And then, when I'm doing makeup for like girls, I do like mostly here with a little bit trailing upwards. But for guys, I'm going to use this because it's like a peachy blush, and this is just in a Clinique set peachy blush, because I don't like to use really big pinks on a guy unless I'm trying to make him look like he's a blushy little baby, which that happens, but you know, for the most part, I like to do like a peachy pink for guys, or like a brownish red, depending on how much I'm going to do it, but I like to do just a little bit on the higher part of my cheek and mostly here, and none, like little to none here. I'm just using the little brush that came in the thing too. But once again, you can use literally anything. Like, you could use a tissue to apply this. And then, very little bit across your nose. And that, my friends, is how I do male cosplay makeup. I guess that's about it. So this is what I do for cosplay, and in fact, this is what I do for Alfred entirely. But really the only things that don't work for any of the ones that I do, any of the characters that I cosplay, are the eyebrows, because I don't have to lighten them for every character, but other than that, this is just the regular male makeup that I do. Woo! If any characters that I do that aren't Alfred or APH America, however you want to refer to him, then I can do separate tutorials for those, but that was this. Yeah! Hella! Peace out.